Hello, hello. Welcome to my channel, Sword and Cross Tarot. Somewhere between raising hell and amazing grace. And of course, being set up and, folks trying to prove you're mentally ill, but yet not showing their hand on what they did behind the scenes to cause you to come out of character and, raise a little hell. All right, so let's get in it. I have things to say. Where shall we start? Let's start with YouTube. Let's start with the criminals. Let's start with what people did to try to cover up who they are and the things they did. Let's start with Shelby and Bill. I knew that somehow a lot of people were watching my private life. I'm talking from right down to when I scratch my butt, to what I eat, what I view, what sites I go to. And, a lot of people used everything that was happening to try to make it look like I was some type of conspiracy theorist. When everything I have said here and spoke was truth. I am to the point that the government truly needs to step in and shut down this entire shit show on so-called tarot readers. Because these people have done some vicious things to a lot of people out of greed, jealousy, so on and so on. Of course, there's always those who pay the consequences of others' actions. So, I wanted to get out there today and drag out all of my paperwork on the water company. But I will have to put that off until the beginning of next week. But I am going to show where black marker was drawn across the dates. I am going to show where I have a digital printout of 16 years of water bills. And I am going to show where the digital printed number was there and then the written in number was there. For November, 75,000 gallons. For December, 108,000. Which doesn't make a damn lick of sense because for December, I was gone 7 days out of that month. And also, before I left my home to travel to Carolina, I walked all the way through my home. There was no toilet running. There was nothing else running. I have replaced nothing in my home. What I did replace, and let me say this for the ignorant tarot readers out there that tried to throw this out there, but apparently do not know the difference between what is called gray water. I replaced some outside lines. It had nothing to do with a water leak or anything that was going on inside the home. It had to do with an outside pipe that had busted, where the gray water goes, which would be sewage, sink, wash machine. So anyhow, people used and twisted this because when I was trying to explain what was happening and what people were doing, there was so much that happened that it truly did come out like spaghetti. Because when I would go to speaking on it, trying to speak on what happened with the ex-husband, the Black Widow, 67 in Glenmore, the racist, abusive two mothers who placed a child in a car accident, what was done with the water company, what was done, and that all stems from an ex-husband, and I quote, use it for everything you can get. But I am going to prove my case. Also, when it comes to YouTube, this was nothing but a bunch of jealous, spiteful, evil witches, bitches, whatever you want to call them. There was a lot of racism here. As soon as I put that channel up, people started doing things, doing readings that were pinpointing me, targeted toward me. Again, this is where the mental anguish comes in, or what they were trying to do. So I would come out of character and strike out at them. And now, I'll go on your platform and tell you, fuck you. Because this case will be proven. There was a lot done here to protect those two mothers. There was a lot done here that criminals, con artists, convicts, and drug addicts did to try and hide what they were doing, right from insurance fraud down to manipulation crimes, theft, and so on. But what happened was someone not only hacked my phone, and I think this is truly what happened. Between Bill and Shelby, my phone was either hacked or had an app applied to it. You exposed my private life for the entire world to watch. And then readers sat back and did readings off of it to mentally torment me. A lot of these people truly thought they could torment me enough to where I would take my life. They wanted me to sit down, shut up, and go away so their crimes, who they were and what they did, would not be exposed, as well as CPS workers in South Carolina. There was a lot that went on here. The water company. No police official ever came and asked me if I had evidence. This was supposed to have been investigated. Apparently not. Because I was the one that had a $1,200 water bill, while the neighbor was the one who had thousands spilling out in his yard, as well as a family member within the water corporation. I do have the paperwork to prove exactly what I'm sitting here telling you. I want to say, again, I will have to refer to my paperwork, but I want to say for 1 month it said 5,000 gallons. For the next month it said 7. Numbers were written out beside that, 75,000, 108,000. Corruption was done here to cover up theft, even down to police officials. Someone had some pull somewhere that wanted to protect whoever this woman was. I don't know what made y'all so ignorant or so thought you were above the law that you would never be caught up for what you did. Right down to the woman that pulled up in my yard in her black SUV and ran over here to tell the drug addict exactly what was happening. Madam, when you did that, you put me at risk and you put these children at risk. You failed. Grant Parrish, you dropped the ball. All right, so I want to speak today on these two mothers. Coletta Bowie, you asked me, Miss Addie, do you know what MK Ultra was? While you sat and tried to explain it to me and tell me a story. You knew at that time in early 2021 exactly what was happening. You knew my life was being exposed for the world to see. You knew my private life was being exposed for the world to see. You also knew who did this. You also know why it was done. It was done to hide y'all's drug use. It was done to hide this mother's abuse. What happened here was gaslighting. It was done to shine a light on me and try to prove who I am so you could take the light off of you and be improved who y'all were. This was a hate crime. This was racist, and this falls under RICO, as well as many other laws. So did you figure out who I am? Because I could have told you that, baby. I could have told you. A hellraiser when it comes to something I passionately believe in. A hard worker. So what'd you figure out? I was a hell-raising little hard worker who broke down every 5, 6, 7 years and decided to go have themselves a piece of ass? Is that what you figured out? I could have told you that. I could have also told you when I broke down every so many years and did decide to go get it, if you sucked at it, I moved on and found someone else to do the job. Easy peasy. There it is. Straightforward. You don't like it because I've done nothing but spit truth. I've done nothing but spit truth on both of these baby mamas, including the foster children's baby mama. I've done nothing but spit truth on what was done in this water company. People were fired to hide the corruption. I've done nothing but spit truth on what these bikers did, what this ex-husband did, what this black widow did. Go out there to Glenmore and ask 67. Go ask him if he received emails from this woman, messages from this woman, defamating my character. Go to his Facebook. You can see the black widow is all over it. Baby, you were obsessed with this man, not I. Adarine was exhausted and simply saw something she liked. Adarine was exhausted and tried to get to know someone. And for that, these people tried to destroy my entire fucking life. To hide who they are and what they did. Drunks, drug addicts, pill poppers, con artists, insurance fraud, changing wills, forging documents, forging notarizing papers. This is not a conspiracy theory, baby. This is fact and this is truth of exactly how corrupt people in our world are and think they can get away with it. So every damn one of you can hate me all you want, but you are not going to target me, gaslight me, and scapegoat me to hide what you did. I still say, still stand on, and will stand next to 110%. My grandbaby's mother is a sorry sack of shit. You made threats to throw the baby out the window. You've done everything you can to scapegoat other people and take the light off of you. Right down to bellying up with social workers. Let me ask you something. Carolina's already figuring out you're a fucking liar. Carolina's already figuring out their system is broken. Carolina already knows what was done here. Y'all owe this man a lot. A lot. When this first happened, and this man sat in front of a police officer with video showing this mother throwing meth at him and scratches all over him, you never gave him the benefit of filing assault charges. You dropped the ball. You dropped the ball. Your job was to protect these children. You put these children in a home the first time you took them that they were at risk. And right now, those children are still at risk in the same home. The same home of a man with a prior murder charge. The same home of a man who is molding children and teenage girls. The same man who ran from paying his child support, who stole a woman's income tax. The same man who was nothing but an aggressive jerk-off who jumped from state to state trying to outrun his own karma. The same man who ran from paying his child support. The same man who ran when his ex-wife was trying to stand up and fight for his own grandchildren. This is the man you give control of someone else's children. This is a man who has control right now to mentally torment those same innocent babies. While the mother does the same thing she used to do, use work as an excuse and never stay home. You handed them right back to this aggressive skank aunt to mentally torment them. Every one of you need to be prosecuted for what you did and how you dropped the ball. When my son went to police to report, he felt he was being poisoned. We believe beyond a shadow of a doubt that's exactly what happened, and we have damn good reason. When you hand someone nasal spray, and immediately they go to vomiting, crapping, insides clamping up, shutting down, you've just poisoned someone. You know, people try to sit here and think and say, this is just too horrific to be true. Baby, look around at what's going on in the world. Look around at the woman that killed her husband with Visine. We're talking a woman that could have possibly inherited $300,000 in life insurance off of the mother-in-law that they were trying to mentally torture so they would take their own life. A lot of people clammed up here. One person stood for what was right, what was correct. I never said I was perfect, baby. But I stood up for what was right. And for that, I've been nothing but punished. By my community. Mocking, laughing, watching, stalking, hacking, flipping cameras. I know this was done. There are too many synchronicities. And let me give y'all an example of what I'm talking about. First off, you would have never known. There's no way you could have ever known what was going on in my home. And I'm not talking about abuse or anything else. I'll sit here and tell you straight up, I'm a little hellraiser. Especially when it comes to the filth. I will not have to kick my way across my floors to get out my door. And if somebody doesn't know that, then they need to be taught that. I've stood up for what was right the entire time. I've stood up for corruption. I've stood up behind dope whores, drunks, thieves, con artists, bikers. Everything I sat here and screamed, everything I sat here and said was truth. Straight truth. And for that, I was targeted, tormented. Every one of you that had a hand in this deserved to be prosecuted. I have never seen such disgusting, filthy souls in my life. Bill, You wanted revenge on somebody because I didn't want you. You know why I didn't want you? 1, I found out you had a prior murder charge. 2, I could hear iron hitting iron while you were over there in that little camper. I could hear you beating on walls. Who wants an immature child as a mate? Who wants someone as hiding severe drug use, theft, someone being a con artist? No one, baby. No one. You tried to portray. You had learned your lesson. Everybody deserves a chance in life. We learn as we go. It's life. But if you keep repeating the same pattern of corruption, deceit, filth, lies, then you get the same results. A prison door. You and Miss Shelby, you did a lot of corruption here. You did a lot to try to hide the fact that that money was stolen from me. You never expected her to bring it back, did you? You didn't expect to be exposed for exactly what you did. Let me tell you how it works. There's going to come a day when you're sitting in a prison cell and you're going to think to yourself, God gave me another chance. I had a chance to get my electrician's license. I had a chance to bring myself up in life and live a damn good life. And I dropped the ball. I fucked somebody over that tried to help me. That tried to help me come ahead and learn a different pattern in life. You, sir, have a mental illness. You, sir, are a piece of shit and a demon. Miss Shelby, I had forgiven you for what you did. Wished you the best right here on my doorstep. There's no doubt in my mind, Miss Ma'am, you did a lot of lying. You did a lot of deceitful things. You all sat back, laughed, mocked, because you knew you had infiltrated someone's life. You had put their private life on display for others to watch, laugh, mock. What you take for privacy. Let me give y'all an example. You see all these women out here with these bear claws, these big, long, nasty-ass bacteria-infested fingernails? These are the same women that tried to sit back and laugh. And I remember this reading. This is how I know you was watching. When I would be sitting in the bathroom holding my phone, you were watching. Oh, somebody's not wiping correctly. Baby, I'm a nurse. I think I know how to wipe my tail. I don't need a doctor to try to tell me how to wipe my tail. But you may. Because those fingernails you have hold bacteria. The same fingernails you're doing this with to wipe your nasty, shitty tail is the same hands, same fingers, no matter how many times you wash them, you're using to eat your French fries as you put bacteria in your mouth. You see, that's why you don't like me, because I call you out. I no longer, straight up, I no longer give a flying fuck what any of you think, feel, believe. I have spoken truth, and I stand on that truth. The rapper with the little song, fuck do you want? Leave me alone, whore. We all know exactly who those words came from. Let me say this, and I'm going to say it again. In 2018, I put in 700 and something hours of overtime. In 2019, 800 and something. If I took time out of my busy schedule to try to get to know you, you must have meant something. It was a waste of my time. Time, effort, and every one of those gifts that were lavished that you now have on your big dog porch. I'm fed up. I'm fed up with the corruption, the criminals, the crime, the bullshit. I'm fed up with how you all tried to scapegoat, gaslight, exploit someone's private life. Oh, let's prove who they are. What do you prove? You thought you were going to prove I was some kind of drug dealer? And let's get to that. No, I'm not a drug dealer. Apparently, because there is no reason my sheriff's department should have ever investigated me or circled my home like Indian chiefs on the warpath. So apparently there were a lot of false calls made. So you all need to track down who made those calls, and they need to be arrested and penalized for obstruction of justice. Because they were false calls. These calls were done by people that had something else to hide. These calls were done by people that were targeting one person that was standing up for truth. The world will know exactly what happened here. I'm not ashamed of trying to get to know someone. I'm not ashamed of being exhausted. I'm not ashamed of some little pinups my daughter talked me into doing. I'm not ashamed if you videoed me without my consent. You are not going to shame me for that. That says who you are, not who I am. I'm a living, breathing human with the same needs as every damn one of you. And for that, you tried to mentally play with someone. Again, scapegoating, gaslighting. You dumb son of bitches really thought somebody was going to commit suicide because you kicked me when I was down, when I was mentally exhausted, physically exhausted, emotionally exhausted. So yes, when this is over with, there will be a lot of people looking at lawsuits. There will be a lot of people looking at fines, fees, prison sentences. You sat back, you listened to everything I said, which would explain why the police never came in their investigation to ask me about my information and records on the water company. Carolina. Y'all tried to make somebody look crazy. These workers probably even wrote that on some paperwork somewhere. But what they didn't write is what these two mothers had done behind the scenes. Their little MK Ultra project. Y'all seriously tried to push someone to the point of taking their own life. How many other people have these YouTube readers done this to? Because what I see is racism, hate crimes, people trying to corner a market. As I said, before I ever put my YouTube channel up, there were skanks already waiting to target that. What I said about spiritual sage is straight truth. Those were my dreams. What I said about Mary Smith was straight truth. Go talk to these people. What I said about Vision Goddess was straight truth. You accused a man in Glenmore of committing murder because a pregnant woman had the same last name. I don't know what make you people think you have the right to infiltrate people's lives. Apparently you're ignorant and can't come up with your own storyline, so you have to target other individuals to come up with those storylines. I knew what I was hearing was portions of my own life, portions of it twisted, portions of it fact, portions of it twisted lies. There were a lot of people here that targeted me, all for one reason. Every one of them, when it boils down to it, had one reason: to sit me down, shut me up, and keep their crimes, their drug use, their mental illness, their abuse hid. Every one of them. What you all did was very sick. There's just not a word I can say to define how sick and corrupt your souls are. Now, let's make sure we clarify when it comes to the water company. Yes, the CEO did call me up one day. And I'm sorry, sir. And anyway, if you feel this humbles or humiliates you, that is not my intent. My intent is to prove fact here. And what this man had to say with me, well, GPSO heard every word of it. It's on tape. What this man had to say to me was, I'll tell him you're the salt of the earth. Well, we'll get your water back on. But at no point, when I tried to discuss with you what was actually happening, did you take what I had to say into consideration. You all did everything you could to prove this did not happen. You all did everything you could to protect someone in that water company. And that would be the Griffin's kinfolk. The same kinfolk that knew the Black Widow's family. Let me ask you something. I had never met these people before this man and his woman came to my door, the man first, saying, I just happened to drive by and see that trailer, and I would like to inquire about it. You're a liar. You were nothing but a corrupt, thieving, lying drug addict. Why would your name, before you, and I asked this man if he knew the Black Widow. I asked this man if he knew any of this crowd, this group, or hung around them. Nope. Said the only one he knew was the one that lived across from the water company. We all know who that is. The same ones that spit on my car. This was all a conspiracy to simply target someone, to cause someone anguish. In 2021, when I had signed up and was fixing to leave my home and go travel nursing, someone sabotaged that job. You have a serious sickness, illness, when this is the kind of corrupt bullshit you do to another human. Throughout all of this, no matter what I have had to say about my grandchildren's mother, at no point did I ever call the Social Security office on you. At no point did I dare ever, in any way, target your income, your home, or anything else. And let's go ahead and set the record straight on that. Not long after my son left, we have an African-American reader out here talking about how, let's see, because this is what y'all do. You try to play with it and word it to where somebody won't know what you're doing, yet it brings them mental anguish. The way you worded it was, this man's going to prison, you're going to sue, and you're going to get money back for losing your home. Well, let me set you straight there, racist baby girl. First off, this man was on the lease. He had every right to be there the same as her, until that lease was broken or rewritten with new names. You did everything you could to run this man off and keep him away. Same thing you're doing right now, to keep him away from his children. Fathers do have rights. It takes two to tango, baby. What you were worried about was being exposed for who you truly are, and that is still going to happen. I have a picture of these two, Coletta Bowie and Natasha, arm in arm, May 17th. I'd have to look at the picture. But it's May 3rd, May 20th, I don't know. But it was in 2017. Before the stage accident, arm in arm, hugged up, me and my buddy getting these coins. That was a stage wreck, baby. You know it, I know it, Coletta knows it, and I'm pretty sure by now, Michael Leach knows it. No home you get, no drugs you get off of, nothing corrects that. I understand that the president put into effect that paper about keeping people in homes. I don't think he meant a woman that has threatened to throw a child out of a window, a woman that caused a neck injury, threw a child out of a chair, beat a child in the face and head, staged an accident. I don't think that's what he was talking about, because this shows a pattern of mental illness. This is the same kind of pattern that is happening all across the world, where women throw their children out on the highway, where women row their children down in rivers in the car, where women drown their children. It's the same pattern. To where when these women get ready to move on to a new man, guess who gets harmed? The children. These children are at risk, and you do not deserve to have them. One of these workers had the audacity to tell my son when he was trying to express the abuse and what was happening, "Wait, sir, we're not talking about her kids. You're an ignorant bitch, and you deserve to be stripped of your job, your pension, and you deserve to face jail for obstruction of justice." You told this man, I quote again, "Wait, sir, we're not talking about her children. We're talking about yours." Ma'am, that's called discrimination, racism, and hate. And you need to be penalized for it. Our world will not change. African Americans say they want equal rights. Well, if you want equal rights, then you need to be jailed, fined, imprisoned, and prosecuted for this hate crime that was committed. That's equal rights. Like my mother used to say, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. If it is a hate crime to target a black person, cause them anguish, would it not be a hate crime for a black person to do this to a white person? That and only then, hang on guys, is when our world changes. And you don't like it because I speak on that. I don't care. Someone needs to. Someone needs to. Again, go to Candace Owen. Go to Hodge Twins. Go to Kendall Reacts. You see what's happening in the world, and our world is changing. So if you want equal, then let's get equal. Let's put it on an equal level. You sit out here and try to act like somebody was competing with you. I've never been competing with you. All the hell I was trying to do was tarot readings. You're the one that was competing. You're the one that was trying to smother someone's channel, hide someone's channel from day one, baby. From day one. Again, one of my very first readings. Dipsy Daisy. Dipsy Daisy. Oh, look at this person's arms. Something's wrong with them. Look at this rash. That's the karma they're paying for things they've done. Just another ignorant person. There's a lot of corruption going on in YouTube. There is no way you all would have been able to link into my private life as I changed phones once I realized what happened. It was done here on my phone by Bill. It was done in Carolina on my son's phone by these corrupt people. You all had hacked in to make sure you could get a dirty win. In Carolina, it was about a dirty win. Here, it was about shaming someone, targeting someone, causing someone mental anguish, getting revenge, and hiding crimes, corruption, and drug use. I don't know whatever made any of you think you were ever going to get away with this. This is no conspiracy theory. And I'm sure the police are starting to figure that out. You can see what's going on in Carolina. They're already figuring it out. You all tried to make me look crazy so no one would believe my story when I spoke it. It's fact. It's truth. It did happen. And some people are going to go to prison for it. Like I said, if you simply took me for a conspiracy theorist and you did not investigate this, you're not too damn good of a law official. Because when someone is sitting telling you something, don't you think it should have piqued your curiosity enough for you at least to check into it? Carolina, there's some officers that need to be fired because they dropped the ball and did not do their job. When my son came forward, this was a crime. This was an attempted murder. This man came to you to tell you he thought someone was trying to take his life, and you didn't find that significant enough to file a police report. You need to be stripped of your job because apparently you're fucking ignorant. Your job, per the taxpayers, per the law, written codes, is to protect and serve. And at no point did you protect and serve. Everything you all did was to protect an abusive, mental ill mother. Again, beat a child in the head and face with her fist, threaten to throw a child out of a window. What's next? What's next? If you don't think something's next, you are ignorant. Because right now, with the light of CPS shining on her and the light of CPS buddies bellied up with her, let's get your life correct. It doesn't matter how much you correct it. Nothing takes away from what you have done. Nothing. You can buy a house. You can get a new car. You can get a new boyfriend, which is another concern. Because what you all should have recognized is what was going on here and how these children are at risk to be harmed. They're already being harmed. Anytime a child gets beat down with a belt for putting a note on the fridge, that's abuse, baby. That's abuse. Anytime a child has a neck injury, and then the mother mentally tries to convince this child that never happened, we're going to get you help. You are mentally playing with these children. You do not deserve these children. You've done everything you could to your family, to officials, to CPS workers, to gaslight and scapegoat this man and make him look like he's the bad one here, when all along it was you. Your friend Coletta, the crime you committed to hide your drug use, the crimes you're still committing, and everything you did. The truth will be exposed. The truth will come out. I don't care how much you thought you was going to shame me. I'm still going to seek justice and stand on that truth. I don't care what video who has. I don't care what pin up who has. I'm still a tax-paying American citizen, and I still have rights. At no time have I given consent for anyone for power of attorney. At no time have I given consent for any medical evaluations. At no time have I given consent for any videos of me to be shown anywhere, anytime, any place. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I am a hard-working, little hell-raising, tax-paying American female that demands justice behind the corruption of con artists, criminals, drug addicts, black widows, people who have horrifically done a lot to cover up their crimes, their pedophile, their abuse. But I can't seem to get any help here because so many people are worried about being exposed. So many greedy, corrupt people are worried about keeping that channel hidden. So it doesn't come out who they are. The world already knows who you are. Everything I've sat here and said. You did everything you could to hide and smother that channel. And I've heard you do readings on it, laugh about it. I buried them so deep, it'd take 10 years for somebody to find them. You all were corrupt. Everyone had specific reasons, but the main reason of everyone was sit her down, shut her up, make sure she's not seen. So we're not exposed for who we are. So we're not exposed for the corruption. So we're not exposed for the white-collar crimes, the low-down crimes, the biker crimes, the black widow crimes. So we're not exposed for forging documents. So we're not exposed because we didn't do our damn jobs right. This is what's wrong with America right here. This is what's wrong. All right, guys. That's what I had to say. Like I said, I will not give up. I will not stand down, sit down, shut up, or go away. I will not. When Donald Trump signed that paper to try to keep families in homes, this is not what he was referring to. This is not what he meant. You all think, because you invaded my personal life, that you're going to shame me by that. Baby, you wipe your ass, pick your nose, and do the same things I do. Same things I do. You're not going to shame me by anything that you have done to me. And that's the thing right there that Americans need to know, that teenagers need to know. When someone does some sick shit like this to you, don't let it shame you. Because it only shows who the demon truly was. And it wasn't me. It wasn't me. It was people who thought they could take you, use you, abuse you. Just like one of those babies' mothers. You see, my police department was a little butthurt because they heard what I had to say about them while they had me tapped over this mother. And I still stand by that. You should have brought those children sandwiches. You should have offered those children something to eat. Am I saying I was correct? Nah, not at all. Am I saying you were correct? Nah, not at all. What I'm saying is the entire situation should have been handled differently by all parties involved. This goes all the way back to 2019 when I was first targeted. When I first started here, Aquarius, pretty oracle, however you pronounce it. Was it DiGiorno or depression? You all tried to mentally torture someone. You all played with my life like it was your game. To simply have titles. To simply have some type of something to do your little fake readings, which are stories, and make your money. Now I get that when it comes to corporations, there's always a fool that's going to step on another fool. But you took it too far. You tried to actually cause someone to take their own life because you kicked them when they were down. You tried to play with their mind when they were exhausted. No different than what 67 did. No different than what the Black Widow did. No different than what the pedophile mental ill family did. Ex-spouse. No different than what the white-collar crime criminals did. No different than what the drug addicts did, and no different than what the abusing mothers did. And I assure you of this, you are not going to shame me on anything I've done, because I can promise you this, while those foster children were in my home, they were fed, they were protected, and they were clothed. Fact. You made many calls to the Social Security office to make sure that baby's check was cut. That baby had anything and everything she needed. At any time. At any time. Be it because the corrupt water company cut my water. Baby, we was getting hot showers, $5 a pop. Right out there at the lake. They missed out on nothing. It was one hell of a journey. One hell of a journey. And, when I look back on how the divine works, it all happened for a reason. it taught these children a lot because they were becoming of an age to where they could see this mother was a narcissistic liar. Spun a lot of stories, did a lot of lies, a con artist. Everyone could see that. Am I saying she doesn't deserve a second chance? Not at all. All I'm saying is that second chance won't be at my table. All right, let's pull some shadow work cards. Am I saying this other baby mama doesn't deserve a second chance? Not at all. It just won't be on my dollar. And you see, I understand. I don't know why y'all take somebody for ignorant, that what she's trying to prove is she never needed any of my money. I never said she did. I'm just a good grandmother. Anything my grandbabies need, I'm more than willing to supply. My own son was in this. All the times when I raised hell with you, see, that's what you tried to prove who I was. Just an evil, mean old bitch. And that's where you're wrong. Because the part of the story that he didn't tell, the part of the story that his narcissistic wife was consistently putting in his ear was, oh, don't let her talk to you like that. When I handed you $400 that was so-called stolen that you gave away, all the money and everything that I funneled out to supply for and give, with a father in his ear, take her for all you can get. When I got fed up with the disrespect was when I went to talking shit. Because I demand it. I demand it. If you're going to come here and borrow my things and borrow my tools, you're going to bring them the fuck back. If you're going to come here and borrow my trailer and say, Mama, I'll have it back within 2 days, then you're going to bring it the fuck back. You're going to give respect where respect is given, or you can stay the hell away from it. And that's just how it is. So while that narcissist was in your ear speaking on, oh, don't let her speak to you like that. To be a good woman, baby, the woman you try to portray you are, what you should have been saying was respect. Respect. Just like this other baby mama. Everything I funneled to Carolina, you had the fucking audacity to try to talk my son into conning me for more money. Told you no, didn't he? He has more morals than you will ever have. This man is a good man. He just got wrapped up doing some of the wrong things. But guess what, baby? Free and clear. My baby is free and clear. No longer goes to any clinic. You deserve everything you get. You deserve to be penalized, punished, imprisoned, fined, and have every one of your children taken from you. Oh, by the way, did you tell them you were letting minors get drunk and get high? Did you tell them that? Or are you still hiding that from CPS? You did a lot to scapegoat, gaslight, and try to hide who you are. And that's what's sick. Let me tell you, what these tarot readers are out here thinking they're doing is teaching you how to take a look at yourself. And they're not. They're not, because of how they're going about it. When you're sitting out here saying, did I hear a broke bitch say something? What are you doing? Are you teaching somebody to not give up, get up, keep going? Go get their money, make their money, do it the correct way? That's not what you're teaching them. By saying those things, you're insulting someone. You're making someone feel less than. You're simply targeting people to make your money. And apparently so many people are distraught in our world that they fall for that bullshit. You thought it was going to work on me, but it didn't. I've never seen such corruptness. I truly feel that it is a strong possibility that I understand that YouTube makes a lot of revenue off of it, but at this point I feel this entire shit show needs to be shut down. Because I come to realize, when I figured out what you all were doing, and I knew this a long time ago, when you were mentally tormenting me in 2019, it didn't take me much to realize what was happening. Again, oh, you can put that chair against the door, and this is what I'm saying right here. There's no way in hell you would have known that had you not been flipping cameras. And we all know that can remotely be done. When you hack into someone's phone and you have control of it, you can flip that camera. Many times you watch me cry. Many times you watch me in my own bathroom. Many times you watch me laying in my bed looking at my phone. Let me see, you even did a reading one time on my blind ass cousin about how close she holds the phone to her face. Y'all did a lot y'all thought I never caught on to. And I knew every bit of it. So I don't know if 67 Glenmore had a hand in it. If he does, he needs to be in prison. If he didn't, then he needs to file suit right along with a lot of other people. Because you hacked him and flipped his phones as well. You've sat out here, you've tried to make it sound like somebody's jealous, somebody's trying to destroy somebody's relationship. I've never got in my ex-husband's relationship. I've never gotten anyone else's relationship. If you came to me for advice, then I gave you that advice. If you didn't, I didn't give a damn. Y'all tried to peg me for totally someone I am not. When I sit here and tell you I truly do not give a rat's ass what anybody else does, I truly do not. Because you see, I've been through 2 shitty marriages and a whole lot of crap in life. I sat over here minding my own business for many, many years. While you all tried to target someone. While you all tried to portray who someone was. You almost did it. You almost did it. You almost. Got your shenanigans to work. But you see, that's not who I am. And that's not who you're going to portray me as. I had an affair once. I damn sure did. Are you going to shame me over it? Fuck no. It was where I was in life. Like I said, as we evolve, we learn our lessons. But when I had that affair, y'all tried to make it sound like I had a sugar daddy. Simply because that man had a good soul, a good heart. Apparently felt he had some needs that needed to be filled that someone wasn't doing at home. Happens all over the world every day. There's some of you on YouTube right here, right now, having affairs that you're keeping hidden. There's some of you on YouTube right here, right now, that are straight fucking drug addicts that have kept it hidden. Skanks. But let me tell you what happened. When I had that affair, that man was damn good to me, baby. Damn good to me. And I was damn good to him. It's a journey I'll never forget. A lot of people, ex-husband's family. A lot of others, baby mama in Carolina. When they saw this man, it helped me. The jealousy, the demons, and the evil came out. And that's how you tried to promote me as. I've never been a jealous person in my life. And I can tell you that, and you can take it with a grain of salt. You can leave it where it's at. I don't give a fuck. I haven't. Don't you think if I was jealous when I was pulling down that damn good income, that I would have put every bit of that into a bigger house? There was a lot of you that did a lot of shit to hold me back, pin me down, keep me from coming ahead. That's demonic, baby. That's nothing but jealousy. It's evil. It's just pure evil. It stems from your jealousy and how demonic and evil you are. You think the ex-husband wanted to see me come ahead? You think the Black Widow wanted to see me come ahead? You think the dope whores that never did a damn thing in their own lives wanted to see me come ahead? It was very sick, and it was very disgusting what you all did. And the truth will come out. The world will know what happened. Like I said, when I saw what you were doing, I switched phone companies. And you were still hacked into me. So what that tells me is, you hacked into my Google account. You hacked into my Google account. You used it to flip a camera. And the reason I know this was not a camera in my home, this was a camera on my phone, is because when I'm picking a booger in my truck, I wasn't at home. You tried to hide what you did, and it will come out. Again, FBI, go and speak with the tarot readers I told you, and there's quite a few more. If these people are still trying to hide what they did, they're liars. Investigate them. Get you a search warrant. Investigate their emails. Take their computers. You will find out what happened. And not only will it expose what they did to me, you're going to be shocked by what you find. Mary Smith once spoke on a police official in Opelousas. This woman, so-called, made this premonition before this man was arrested. How do you think she knew that? She's not a psychic. She's a fucking mental ill basket case. And I do believe that's already been proven. I tried to tell that. I said it. I told you you were going to lose your children because of what you were doing. And you did. And y'all want to hate me for it? I've sat here and spoke nothing but truth. Y'all seem to think because you sit on these platforms, you clan up as clans, covens, cliques, be it African-American cliques, be it just simply evil-ass cliques. You think you won't get caught because you have each other's back and you're going to cover up for everyone. Baby, you can't cover up crap when the FBI rolls in, takes your computers and all of your devices. And that is exactly what needs to be done. Because like I said, you are going to find out exactly how many people they did this to. There was a lady in my community that this was done to as well. She put up a YouTube channel. She was immediately targeted. I call that racism, hate crimes, and trying to corner the market. You have a lot of corruption going on within your Google system and your YouTube system. And someone needs to do a little deeper digging and a little deeper investigating. Because when you hold the power to try to cause someone enough mental anguish so they would take their life, so these crimes, these con artists, and these cults are not exposed, penalized, or seen, we have an issue. We have a problem. What's the quote? Houston, we have a problem. So I'm tired of not speaking on certain things that happen. Let's see. You had me investigated to the point you even know about a check that was written many years ago. You tried to make it look like I was the one that did this. I'll tell you the story on that. That was a friend of my sister's that asked me to cash this check for him. Now, did I know that there was some fraud involved with this? Not at all. Not at the time. And I'm sure it's on bank video where I handed it to him after I cashed it. I've been taken by con artists before. A lot of people have. Are you going to shame me because of that? Fuck no. You see, that's where you got me wrong. And that's what's going to get you caught up. Because this has worked so many times before. This, what you all tried to do, like I said, is the reason a lot of teenagers take their lives. The bullying, the shame. And I'm not going to let you do that to me. I am going to keep fighting. I'm going to keep standing. I'm going to keep speaking truth on what was done here until I get justice. I am not going to take down anything that I have said about these tarot readers, and I owe none of you an apology, except for the ones that were not involved. Now, yes, I heard Spiritual Advisor LLC speak on something this morning, and she's correct about how, anytime you put yourself out in the public, you kind of set yourself up for some harassment and some stalking. Yes, that would be true. That would be true, especially if you are celebrity status. But we have some fools on YouTube that think they are celebrity status simply because they read tarot cards. Well, baby, let's refer to Diddy. If you think you cannot be taken down, knocked down, stripped, and imprisoned, then you're a fucking idiot. Isn't that right, Diddy? No one sits so high they cannot be prosecuted. No one. All right, so let's throw some shadow cards out here. Like I said, this is what these readers, majority of them are out here portraying they do, which is lift people up who are going through grief, Kundalini Awakening. And I actually did go through Kundalini Awakening. I did a lot of research on it, and I do feel that is what I went through. Many tower moments. I've taken my looks in the mirror. I know exactly who I am. And you're not going to shame me, make me fall into your scapegoating, gaslighting, and believe I'm other than out of ring. Little hell-raising, hard-working, Caucasian female. I don't think I have ever met so many idiots in my entire life. All right, so we have, look at that. Look at the divine. Look how divine works. Unmasking truth. Look at that. And that's fact. That's truth. What you all portray you're out here doing is teaching people. Teaching people how to set boundaries. Teaching people how to take a look in the mirror. Teaching people how to do shadow work. Go through the pros and cons of who they are. But that's not what I see. What I see is people targeting people, trying to shame people, make people feel bad for who they are, the rough times they're going through. And you want to call yourself divine? Fucking idiot. All right, moving on. Now let's also speak on, when I speak on Vision Goddess and how she accused a man of murder. because I'm sure it's on tape where I made the comment, particular man seemed to have the women around him fall off like flies in a certain aspect. That is a theory. Simply a theory. Only by what I see. I do not care what this man does. Apparently you all do. Do you need me to give you his number? You need me to give you his possible address? Because apparently a lot of you, targeted me for clout chasing and bullshit. You see, a lot of folks knew. If those two people got together, due to one's connections and one's brain, baby, sky was the fucking limit. People could see that. Matter of fact, I do plan on I was not going to sing that song because I literally detest that song now. That song, Mr. Breeze. But I think I will still do that just for my own benefit. You all saw who I was. There was a lot of people that saw who I was. I've never seen so many people try to knock one person down to where they couldn't reach their own dreams and their own success out of jealousy, envy, greed, and simply trying to target one person. Which stems right back to the 7 cardinal sins. It's real. I tell you, I'm still shocked by all of it. I'm more appalled than shocked. But when you look around at the corruption in the world, there's a quote that when good people sit back and do nothing, that's when evil will reign. And that's exactly what's happening here. Evil is reigning. Evil that's wearing a mask and trying to pretend like they are good people. To say you're divine and sit out here and say you're lifting people up, why would you scream? Did I hear a broke bitch say something? Why would you scream the things you're out here screaming if you're so-called trying to lift someone up? To lift someone up is to tell them, hey, you can kick that drug habit. Hey, you can come ahead. Hey, you are somebody. Hey, we're all given forgiveness. But that's not who you are. That's not how you act. And it's not what you did. All right, so next we have resentment. Ooh, there's a lot of people came at me over that. It often festers, causing a desire for revenge. Let go of the past to find peace. So we have someone that's unmasking truth. We have someone that resents them because of that. Apparently, a lot of people have let their resentment fester. And they need to let go of that so they can find their own peace. We had one fall on the floor. Hang on. We have pastors. We have officials. There was a lot of corruption involved in this. A lot of corruption. I mean, it's simple. Look at the 59, 69, however many it is, subscribers that I have. Half of those are nothing but stalkers. There was a lot of corruption in my own community. White-collar crimes, things people don't want seen. If you take a look in that soul mirror, you say, you know what? Maybe I was wrong. How can I correct this? How can we move on in my community, find peace? Be at peace. Instead of corruption. People try to figure me out. Let me tell you one of the reasons why you can't. Like I've told you, I stand on the fence. Am I pissed with GPSO because of what was done? Yes. But can I also give them a pat on the back? Because they have been doing freaking excellent for the past couple of years? Yes. That's somebody that knows who they are, baby. That's somebody that's balanced. I've never seen such foolery. I've never seen so many people go so far. Well, no, let me rephrase that, because I have. We see it on Verse 24. We see it on Unsolved Mysteries. We see it all over the world all the time. And apparently no one felt that this needed to be investigated enough to put a halt to some of these people that were committing these crimes targeting others, and what was done here. What are you waiting on? Are you waiting for children to die? Are you waiting for people to be slaughtered, murdered? What are you waiting on? So, soul mirror. Others reflect your own relationship with yourself. I disagree with that. Because, I say that because the people, like I said, I've done good for people all my life. Am I an angel? No. Have I been perfect all of my life? No. Who is? If we were all perfect, Christ wouldn't have died on the cross, would he? But my point is this. There are times when people can step in, and people should have stepped in. People should step in. There are times when we do not have the foresight. Some people do not have the foresight to see what is coming. So instead of stepping in, it's kind of like if you knew the future and if you didn't. If you knew the future, would you have corrected it? Would you have stepped in? As opposed to, I don't know the future, but I can see the possibilities of what is going to happen here. Because I believe in my Second Amendment rights, you targeted me for that. Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind government officials are watching. Watch on, baby. Watch on. I'm no different than any other tax-owing, tax-paying, little hell-raising American citizen. There's millions of us. And you tried to shame me for that? Because I believe in my Second Amendment rights? I grew up with people that had weapons. My father had one. My cousins had one. I believe. And there are a lot of people that have gone through gruesome things that have quoted, after those things happened, I wish I'd have had a weapon. Right now, Grant Parish has a bolus out for two criminals that flatlined someone, that slaughtered someone. I wouldn't want to be the person caught by these two people and no weapon. It's not the weapon's fault. It's the person behind it. It's what society has done with the bullying, the targeting. Psychologists try to say, we are trying to treat humans like robots. Psychologists try to put a name on everything. I'm sure they've labeled me with a few. I don't have a mental illness. I have a feta-fucker-upper illness. You try to psychologically evaluate people and put titles on everything. Everything. By doing that, you are stripping us of our human essence, of emotions. You take a man that works his entire life, hands his wife his money, she spends it. He takes $2, $3 to work with him all week. Every now and then he may get a little appreciation, a gift. You destroy his home, you destroy his life, you destroy his family. You put him so in debt, he becomes a sheep on a wheel to where he's never going to get ahead. But he still gets up, he still goes out there, he still strives to provide for his family. And then you put on him, if he owes a tax, he can't go fishing. Our society, our government, are literally smothering us to the point. This is what is causing what is happening in our world. When Harris and Biden started letting people get away with theft, you fucked up. You fucked up. People know right and wrong. Even if their parents didn't teach it to them, they're hearing part of it. They know it's not okay to steal. They know it's not okay to go in a department store and walk out with $1,800 in goods. They know that. And they need to be penalized for that, because it's the taxpayers who end up footing the bill. There also needs to be some different arrangements made with our prisons. The taxpayer should not have to pay for a criminal. When they can't afford dental, the taxpayer shouldn't have to pay for criminals to have perfect teeth. Other countries do not do this. Only America. what is happening is the script has been flipped here. People that do not deserve it get it, and people that deserve it can't. Because they have to choose between providing for their families or their dental care. There's a lot of changes that need to be made. Taking away people's weapons only put weapons in the hand of criminals. That's not a change we need. That's not a change we can afford. There will be blood in the streets. And the problem with that is it will be innocent people's blood. All right, moving on. So we have unmasking truth, resentment, soul mirror, and authentic self. Be yourself. Everyone else is already taken. It's for tarot readers. Be your damn self. Quit stripping other people's information for your little tarot readings. If you can't be any better at telling a story than having to hack, target, and strip other people's essence, other people's information, you're just an empty vessel, a demonic soul. All right, moving on. Now, there was a dream I spoke on, red truck, whatever, and then there was a reader that did a reading. Oh, the elite have been speaking to you. No, it's called what the subconscious hears and takes in. The dreams I have been proven to come true. And I do want to come back, of course, and speak on some of those dreams. I did have this dream. Now, was it because it was something I was consistently hearing? Only the divine knows. Was it because it was a dream that someone is trying to tell me something? Only the divine knows. Had one of the weirdest things happen the other day. The alarm went off on my son's car. It's been sitting there about 8 months now. And the craziest thing was, it went off, then it shut itself off. And as I walked up to the car, you could hear it making some little noise. The noise almost sounds like when the alternator goes out and does that clicking. So that was kind of weird. I have experienced paranormal activity, the orbs, the cast iron skillet that hit the floor of the picture that went 5-6 foot across the wall. These things did happen, and you are not going to shame me over that either. Paranormal activity has basically been scientifically proven. I've never seen so many sick souls in one place as I did on YouTube. Of course, everyone feels entitled to their opinion, but that's like assholes. Everyone has one. I know this. I have lived enough life. Let me say it to you like this. Some people have book smarts. Some people have street smarts. Some people have common sense. I have all three. I don't know why people thought they could do what they did, and it would never be recognized, never be exposed, and never be penalized. I'm a Capricorn. I sit back, I skirt around, and I watch. All those days, a certain person thought I was just a meek idiot. I'm sitting back watching. I was exhausted. But one thing I know, baby, is this old girl right here has got one hell of a backbone. I know who I am. And that's probably why y'all couldn't do what you tried to do. Baby, I know who I am. You're not going to shame me over it. You're not going to alter it. You can spin all the fancy tales you want to tell. All right, moving on. Mental contest. That's what you all put yourselves in on YouTube. Strength isn't from winning. Struggles define strengths. All right, moving on. I tell you what, though, I've never in my life seen so many evil, demonic, jealous entities jump forth to try to take one person down. And that's what y'all did. Says a lot about you. People ganged up, bullied up, covened up, clicked up, had a lot to do with hiding abuse, hiding drug use, hiding the bullying, the targeting, the exploitation. You all tried to hide how you thought you would expose me to the world to shame me. Didn't work, did it? All right. Limiting beliefs. Ultimately, you become what you believe. Moving on. I'm going to have to disagree with that one as well. Because my limited beliefs do not necessarily specify who I am. But what I do know, like I said, there's a lot of folks trying to hide who they are. A lot of folks. A lot of people cannot be authentic because they worry so much about that image. And that goes right back to what I was speaking on about Unsolved Mysteries, the first 24. You know, we all know that majority of people commit crimes over love, money, drugs, and image. And what shocks me is how far people will go behind image. I mean, when you get to the point of literally trying to take someone's life behind image, you have a sickness. You have a mental illness. This baby's mother, the one who still hasn't taken any accountability, mental illness. Because you're still screaming it was everybody else's fault but yours, and you have taken no accountability. And that is simply because you don't want the mask stripped off. You don't want people to see you truly are a con artist. You are not a victim. When you rode up here with that one-eyed beagle on meth, you tried to make yourself a victim, and you were not. The baby mama in Carolina, you tried to make yourself a victim, and you were not. You had a damn good mother-in-law that did a lot to help you, and you clicked up with people of your own ethnicity and basically hate crime. Mental illness, all about image. You don't want people to know that you truly are an unfit mother. Stubborn. I can denote perseverance, but it also may hinder progress. The same way people try to portray that I just gave my babies away. Y'all some sick demonic bastards. Never did I just give my babies away. There's a difference in being able to afford an attorney and just handing the children away. Did the ex tell you how I was constantly over there beating on doors, beating on windows? Did the ex tell you how they asked me to stop purchasing things for my children? See, they never told you any of that. Did the ex tell you that I've picked their stepchild up off the side of the road? Did the ex tell you that when my child called, I brought pizzas? Did they tell you any of that? Did my ex tell you how I supplied shoes throughout my children's life to make sure they had good shoes, good Nikes, and everything else? Did they tell you I supplied clothes? Or did they try to tell you I never paid a nickel because I refused to give a big old fat crackhead, con artist, thief, my money? Did they tell you that? You see, y'all didn't get the entire story. You got parts of it and you ran with it. Same way, that same fool tried to teach my youngest son not to have any morals. It is not okay to steal another man's fish off of his line. It is not okay to take a person's tools and not return them. It's called morals, respect. It is not okay to put yourself in the middle of two people, give one side information to strike and target another, and almost destroy their life. That is not okay. When the majority of it was fatuated, stretched truths, all for brownie points. That is not okay. And I have a problem with that. Self-compassion. Embracing imperfections helps you find strength. So the message here is, avoidance. It's key to see the need to avoid discomfort, but also to overcome it and thrive. And this is what most people tried to do. Right here. Everyone that was involved with this, avoidance. They wanted to avoid their own mask being stripped off. They wanted to avoid their image being stripped. They wanted to avoid any infliction whatsoever on their image. Divine sees all. You can't hide who you are from the big man. There was a country singer that wrote a song once. The Lord knows I'm sinning. Y'all go check out that song. And that's the truth. We got a lot of folks here in the community that thought they were Harper Valley PTA while they hid their own indiscrepancies, crimes, drug use. Glenmore, Harper Valley PTA, perfect image, while you hid the scrupulous things you did behind the scenes. You don't have a perfect image when your friends are dope hoes, con artists, and black widows. And I don't care if you like that or not. I don't give a damn what any one of you think. This is Adarine's life, and Adarine's going to live it her way. But what you are going to stop doing is interfering because you will find yourself in court. So that's what I have, guys. Like I said, I'm not going to stop doing readings. I don't care if it doesn't get any views. One day, justice will come. When justice comes, my story will get out there. My son's story will get out there. And no matter how you tried to shame someone, it says a lot about you. When you have to gang up in a clique, and parents, stop teaching your children that it's okay to do that bullshit. Stop going to the school and making it okay for your baby to be a bully. Stop teaching your children it's okay to think they can walk, roll, and trample over other people. Thousands of children every year take their own lives. Other people do as well. I'm sure you all are seeing it all over the world. Judges taking their own lives. Other people taking judges' lives. Our own society has done this to us. Our own society has literally it's like a huge worldwide psychosis. It has brainwashed people to think if you're not a titty on a rib, you're not beautiful. Well, Marilyn Monroe was a very beautiful woman. I don't recall her being 98-pound titty on a rib. Society is what has done this. Media is what has done this. Something needs to change in our world if we expect different results. Children going home crying because they're being bullied. Children whose souls weep because of the emotional distress they go through. It's sad. It's truly sad when this happens. And nobody stands up for the person being bullied. We see it in the schools, where the parents go to the school, they go to the school, they go to the school, and what happens? What happens? Either the child takes their life or the child retaliates. Be it out of fear, be it out of revenge, or whatever. This needs to stop. What's even more sickening is when this happens with adults. Over image, over cliques, over covens, over cornering markets. This is disgusting, appalling. And for people to sit back and do nothing because they're worried about their image. You see, at that water company, there are people that know exactly what happened. But someone is so worried about their image, instead of correcting it, they're waiting for it to explode. Carolina, instead of correcting it and saying, oh, wait, hold on a minute. Let's find out. Let's get down to the nitty gritty. That stems from the CPS workers. That stems from the racism and the hatred. These women need to be prosecuted. Obstruction of justice. This would have never gone as far as what it went had their racist asses done their job. Because this was about all of those children, not 2 of those children. This was about what color that man was, not what was just and fair. All right, guys, so that's what I have. Again, it was very appalling that you all did what you did, thought you would get away with it, and one day, like I say, justice will come, and you will have to answer for what you've done. When I first came out here, like I said, immediately right then, you tried to make it look like I was some kind of stalker. But you didn't tell the other side of the story, how you were dropping pieces of information that was my life, which is why I was questioning you, watching you, and making comments to you. You did not, at any time, speak that to any higher-ups or anyone that questioned you. Y'all go back and y'all question these people. Get warrants, take their devices, and you are going to be shocked at what you find. You're going to be shocked at just how far people went to cover up abuse, crimes, severe drug addicts, severe drug use, drug sales, and other crimes as well. There's a lot of crimes a lot of people are trying to hide. But you see, most of them won't sit here and tell you their mistakes, what they did. No one's perfect. We don't come out the womb at 98 and learned all of life's lessons. We come out the womb innocent and needing to be provided for. There's not a doubt in my mind, everything I went through, there was a reason. There was a reason that I was led to Tarot. When all this went down in C-19, everything everyone was doing to me. I feel that part of that reason was the corruption in YouTube that needed to be exposed, the corruption within Google being happening that needed to be exposed. I feel some of these criminals that are sitting on platforms needed to be exposed as well. But the main thing that was happening is I do believe the divine was pissed at what's happening in the churches. You have taken the house of the Lord and turned it into nothing but a profitable Ponzi scheme. Right down to a pastor telling someone, if you leave the church, you're going to destroy your entire life. That's not your call, sir. That's not your call. There's a lot of things you think I don't know. It's not your call. What you were focused on was those dues, those tithes, and what goes into offering plate from that person. I do not see you as a good pastor. A good pastor would simply, let me find the correct word I'm looking for here. Monitor is coming to mind, but I know that's not it. It was right on the tip of my tongue. Your role would have been simply to give good advice, not to put someone down, shame them, or make them feel like if they walk away from the church, their life is destroyed. Just because you're not in a church or walk away from a church does not mean that you do not know God. You can get out in the pasture in the middle of poop pods and worship God. It doesn't necessarily have to be in the house of the Lord. You think because I cuss and I get mad with a passion, raise a little hell, I don't know God? Only person you fool is yourself. Addie G, that's what I have. And I'm sitting here telling you today, there was a lot of corruption here. Good cops, dirty cops. Good FBI officials, dirty FBI officials. There was a lot of corruption here. There was basically no one that wanted to stand up and expose exactly what happened here, because every one of them were so worried about their image. A lot of them did a lot of corrupt things to protect that image, and they didn't care whose life they destroyed or who they hurt. I don't care how much you worship God. When that's what's in your heart and soul, you are by no means a Christian. You are by no means a man of God. You are by no means a decent person. Think about it. Addie G. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe. Peace out.